So, something that I really enjoyed about my SolidCore experience just now, it was cool because also a lot of the people there were my age, and I've been going to Club Pilates for a while now, and every once in a while there's some younger people there, like every once in a while, but not really. Like it's kind of an older crowd, and I'm so proud of myself for finally not calling them just old people. It's an older crowd. Wonderful. We're growing, we're learning. But basically, it was intimidating, and I went in and, you know, had to fill out the vibes. And the instructor, she was super, super energetic, and it looked like really happy to be there. Love that. And she gave me, my demonstration, but it was cool because I felt like we were kind of like having accountability amongst each other. And sometimes when I'm working out, and I kind of got over this because a lot of the times, not always, and this is kind of like something that happens more like in other categories of my life than just this one, but essentially is being the youngest person in the room. Yeah, most of the time being the youngest person in the room, pretty much. And when you're doing what other people are doing that are older than you, sometimes you get not a positive energy back. It's not really like an accountability energy, it's a competitive energy. And competition is fun, but sometimes it's kind of like I don't know the best way to explain it. I wish I had better words there, but it's just not a fun vibe all the time. But when you're working out and the person next to you drops, like let's say you're doing a plank, and you can drop it anytime, you have free will, but the person next to you drops, you have this thing in your head, and I feel like everybody has to do it. I could be wrong about this, but I just think this might be a human reaction, is either you say, cool, now I can drop too, or you can stay in place and be the like example, because from the alternative perspective, when you drop too, it's kind of like, but when you stay up, that other person can either look over and be like, Ugh, and that's their problem, or they can look over and go, you're right, get back up. We can do it. We can do it. And you use that to push you. And I think that's the thing about having people around you to compete with, but it's healthy competition. Like having healthy competition in life, I think is so amazing. To feel like there are other people around you where you're like, yeah, yeah, keep on going, keep up, do another rep, get up early. And if you're, needing to say in your head it's to be, better, I think that's kind of coming from a place of ego, which, I mean, who's completely away from their ego? Like nobody's perfect, but and sometimes, maybe you start that way, and I think at times I have been that way as well, but I've realized is now, like, when I see other people doing good, it fuels my fire, man. Like it gets me excited. And there is sometimes maybe a hint of jealousy, but I think I've hit a point now where I'm realizing, like, if other people aren't doing better than me, that's boring. Like if you're just sitting here feeling like, I don't know, like, I mean, I don't even think that that's a feeling that I necessarily know. So I mean, whatever. It's just, that's not a cool feeling. Like, they always say it's very, very, very lonely the higher you go up. And I feel like that's true. So it's like being able to enjoy being in the moment where you're at and not try to just quantum leap past everything and enjoy like the grind that's around. And it's exciting. It's a good type of energy. And I think I've noticed that if people, you know, look at you, and if you know you're doing good or you're pushing yourself, and that brings out maybe an insecurity in them, and I'm speaking from experience, when you've been able to feel those feelings and come out and be on the other side of it, you can recognize it in other people. And it's just so amazing when you can let people look at you and be like, and you are like, go ahead, erg at me all you want. If you need to hate on me, if you need to literally have it in your life's goal, which is so sad, to, you know, beat me in this moment or do whatever it is to fuel your fire, I hope I can do that for you. I hope I can do that for you, because I realized that, like, that is it. Like, having, you know, constructive criticism in your life, having people push you, and like, you need a good balance. Like, it doesn't, I think some people do need a grit phase to get to the glory, but having a good balance of like, I am being as erg because this is an act of love. And it's something you can do to yourself. Like, literally saying that you're going to push yourself to a new level, almost like bully yourself at times, because you're trying to push yourself um, to new capacities. Like, you are literally trying to see just how far you can go. And it's like when you're in that class and your legs are already shaking, like already shaking, and you look around and everybody's up. You're the only one still doing the workout. You're the only one still doing the workout. At that point, who are you competing with? Who are you competing with? When you're the only one still there, standing and doing it, at that point, the only person you're competing with is yourself. And it's so easy to, at that point, just be like, okay, my work here is done. But when you keep doing it because that's what you want to do, and then you become like, I guess, you're almost like pioneering the moment. You're setting a new bar. And this might sound how it sounds coming from somebody who says that they just left their first SolidCore class. But I'm telling you, that was one of the best times I think I've had in a while. I haven't worked out in a little bit, so I probably feel really good right now when it comes to all the chemicals that are releasing in my brain, which is so super true. But it's bigger than that, because it's like genuinely feeling like I can relate to the people around me. And when we're working out and kind of bouncing off of each other's energy, it's like at the end of the class, and this is something that I really want to push myself to do next time. And I would almost encourage you to do it if, you know, you feel like you relate to this, but literally looking at the person next to you and being like, thank you so much for helping to push me through this workout. Like, I enjoyed working out next to you. Because having somebody who's also pushing themselves next to you, chef's kiss. It's an amazing experience. And yeah, that was a very, very, very good time. And I need to eat my food because I felt pretty dizzy before I was filming this. Not like I was going to pass out, just kind of like, yeah, I need to eat. But I ate one chicken tender and I got fueled by my own fire. So it was a chicken nugget actually, but I was fueled by my own fire. So yeah, that was a great time. And we're going to see how I feel in the morning, but I would almost love to like go back tomorrow, because I can push myself as hard as I want to go. So like tomorrow, if I go back and, you know, I don't want to experience like a couple days of being sore, and I just push myself to where I can go, that's totally okay. So if I feel up for it, because I really don't know how I'm going to feel right now, because like I said, have not worked out in 2 weeks, and I pushed myself because that felt good. And her energy, like the instructor, she literally said, she was like, I'm not going to shut up this whole time. And I was like, love that, because yeah, when you're yapping, I'm fueled by yapping, and it's probably because I'm a yapper, but all of my favorite instructors that I've been to classes with are yappers. Like, they yap and they yap and they yap. They'll tell stories. She didn't really tell stories, but in Pilates, they literally tell stories, and it was so fun. And there was this one little tidbit that I wanted to bring up, because something that I thought about was this woman that I used to work out with in Pilates. It's not really a tidbit. I guess it's just more of like a anecdote story, etc. But her, we're just going to call her E, because I don't really know how she feels about, not that, it doesn't matter. But essentially, she had been doing Pilates for a while, and she was on like the 2000s board. So like, she's done over 2,000 Pilates classes. She's a unit. Her form is the example. Like, when you're in class, if you're confused and you're like, what do I do? You look at E, because she's the example. And she's an itty bitty little thing. And I mean that in the best way possible, because it suits her so well. But something I've noticed is I would be in there and I would hear women making little comments, like kind of at her, or like nitpick sometimes. And you could tell, like, she heard it. Like, you could look at her and like see her just silently, I feel like, observing. But did it stop her? No. And there was an instructor one time, and I got up and walked out of the class. It was at the very end of the class, and she looked at her and she was like, just kind of saying how she needs to eat a burger, which to me, like, skinny shaming and fat shaming, they're on the same level. Just leave people's bodies alone. But she looked at her and just kept going, like, you need to eat a burger. And I could tell that that was stemming from an insecurity that woman was having, and she was bringing something up out of her. And it was just like, instead of doing feet and straps, I just like didn't want to be in that room anymore. And E and one or two other people all got up at the same time and skipped feet and straps. And it's just, it was kind of eye-opening. Like, people will get sometimes when they see you doing good, or people will, applaud you, and, don't let that stop you from doing you. Like, you just keep going and keep believing in yourself, because the thing is they can get angry as they want, or they can be as they want, but when they go home and they're sitting there lonely and sad and they're pondering about it, and then they're like, yeah, I'm going to use that as fuel. Don't let that get you down, because somebody's using that as fuel, and you need to use it yourself as fuel. Like, you need to fuel your own self. So yeah, I hope the little ending story didn't take away from my message, but did add to it. But I'm going to eat these chicky nugs right now, and because that's such a beautiful practice in life, is just to shh the F up. So that's what I'm going to do. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe. I would love that. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Also, just a side note additionally, because I'm always providing so many extra side notes, if you get a 30-count grilled nugget from Chick-fil-A, obviously there has to be a Chick-fil-A nearby. So step one, live by a Chick-fil-A. And if you do, you can get a 30-count grilled nugget. Just get the nuggets by themselves, and it comes in a container with a lid on it. So if you don't eat it, you can just stick it in the fridge and, like, dump them out on a plate and heat them back up tomorrow. I don't know, maybe people don't rock like that, but I do, and I find it to be a lifesaver at times.